Hey there YouTube lovers, my name is BB8 and today we are going to review Detective Pikachu Returns. I've been waiting a while to review this, but I have been playing Spider-Man 2, so I wasn't able to review this game over the weekend, so I thought, why not review Detective Pikachu Returns while I can? Because there are some areas that I do want to talk about with this game. So without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? And just as a warning before we get into the review video, this review video does contain spoilers for Detective Pikachu Returns. So, for the ones considering playing it, I'm putting this warning here just in case. So you might want to watch this at your own risk, because I'm not taking responsibility if the game gets spoiled for you. So, with the spoiler warning out of the way, let's get into the review. For the gameplay in Detective Pikachu Returns largely echoes its 3DS predecessor, maintaining the core mechanics that fans of the franchise had come to appreciate. In this sequel, players once again step into the shoes of Tin Goodman, the determined son of the missing detective Harry Goodman. The primary objective remains unchanged as you explore various locations with bustling metropolis city of Rhyme, gathering clues and tackling puzzles that are integral to each chapter's mystery. However, there are notable departures from the original game. One of the most glaring differences here is the fact that Detective Pikachu offers a more linear approach than complex, meaning that it doesn't allow you to explore Rhyme City freely outside of the main narrative, which I'm hoping, if we do get another Detective Pikachu game in the future, that they do change this, because I do like exploring areas freely in games. Unfortunately, Detective Pikachu Returns doesn't have that, which does annoy me a bit. The puzzles of Detective Pikachu Returns maintain a sense of creativity. For example, in early stages of the game, players are tasked with finding Applin among a pile of apples that have spilled out of a crate. These puzzles add a layer of enjoyment to the gameplay, and they help to break up the investigative aspects of the game. A significant enhancement to the sequel is the introduction of assistance from various Pokemon. Detective Pikachu can now call upon to these creatures for aid in investigation. For instance, Growlithe can track scents, Darmanitan can remove large objects, Luxray possesses the ability to see through walls, and Pangoro is proficient to moving boulders. This addition not only adds diversity to the gameplay, but also reinforces collaborative nature of solving mysteries in the Pokemon world. It is worth noting that Detective Pikachu Returns is designed with a younger audience in mind. As a result, this game is relatively easy, and it would have been a valuable addition to include difficulty level selection to the game to cater to players seeking more of a challenge. And one of the more significant drawbacks of this game is the lack of replay value. While there are tasks to complete when interacting with characters and Pokemon throughout Rhyme City, there's no rewards for these efforts. And as a result of this, there is little incentive for players to continue exploring beyond the main story, limiting the game's longevity unless you're interested in replaying the same narrative. And another minor but notable frustration is the inability to skip cutscenes. Some players may prefer to bypass certain dialogue or cutscenes, and the absence of this feature can bother some, particularly on repeat playthroughs. In essence, Detective Pikachu Returns remains true to its 3DS roots, offering a similar experience but adapted for Nintendo Switch. Nevertheless, it falls short in post-story content, leaving players with limited engagement outside of the main story. And for any potential future Detective Pikachu games, which I hope Returns isn't the last, there is room for improvement within these areas, ensuring a more well-rounded and captivating gaming experience. For the graphics, this is one major area I wanted to talk about when reviewing this game, because when Detective Pikachu was first mentioned in an investors meeting in 2019, I had high hopes for the game's graphics, as I expected them to be on par with the visually impressive titles like Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, which was an alright game, but the graphics were the highlight of the game, as well as the underrated Sword and Shield. In 2020, when new Pokemon Snap was announced, I was further convinced that the game's graphics would be of highest quality. And new Pokemon Snap, in my opinion, is the best looking Pokemon game. So when Detective Pikachu Returns was officially announced in June of 2023, my excitement reached a fever pitch. But however, the reality fell short of my expectations, because the graphics in Detective Pikachu Returns, I must admit, were a letdown in my opinion. They resembled visuals from older Nintendo platforms, such as the 3DS and Wii, and even mobile games. This was a significant disappointment for me, given my high expectations for the game's visual fidelity. But what exacerbated this disappointment was the fact that the in-game cutscenes didn't quite match the facial expressions and animations of the characters, with our lead character, Detective Pikachu, being the only exception to this. And the fact that it didn't match the facial expressions in appropriate moments kind of made the cutscenes feel a bit off, if you get what I mean. And this inconsistency in animation quality was particularly noticeable and detracted from the immersion of the game. On the bright side, the game's user interface design was not terrible. The UI, particularly in Tim Goodman's notebook, remained authentic to what one would expect from a detective's tools, but however, I believe that a more engaging and visually appealing design, like the one that I provided here, as I did take screenshots from my Switch to make a mock-up for this, and a menu looking like this would actually make it more appealing, and would have added an extra layer of engagement that was lacking in the actual game. Performance-wise, Detective Pikachu Returns does not run terribly. Despite the mediocre graphics and cutscene issues, the game manages to deliver a smooth and enjoyable performance, and this, in combination with decent UI design, makes it clear that the development team put effort into ensuring that the game runs well, even if it doesn't look as stunning as fans might have hoped. For the story, Detective Pikachu Returns, the narrative unfolds with the bustling urban landscape of Rhyme City, just as in the original Detective Pikachu game. Returning players will feel a sense of familiarity with the game's chapter structure, but newcomers might not understand it that well, as the story welcomes both old and new audiences alike, as Pikachu does give a recap at the beginning of the game, meaning that you don't have to have played the original on 3DS or have seen the movie to even understand the story. And once again, players are thrust into the charming world of Rhyme City, the witty and endearing detective, as he reunites with his friend Tim Goodman. Together, this dynamic duo embarks on a new series of enthralling mysteries, each one shrouded in the aura that surrounds Pikachu's seemingly supernatural detective abilities. The stakes skyrocket when Tim's father, Harry Goodman, mysteriously vanishes, casting a shadow of uncertainty over their cheerful partnership. Detective Pikachu Returns takes players on a gripping adventure as they navigate the labyrinthine streets of Rhyme City, searching for elusive clues and unraveling an intricate web of intrigue that surrounds Harry's disappearance. As the game unfolds, players will have the opportunity to interact with an eclectic array of Pokemon, including some introduced in more recent Pokemon titles like Sword and Shield, as Pokemon such as Inteleon, Raboot, and Applin appear in the game. These encounters infuse the game with a delightful sense of variety, allowing fans to forge connections with different Pokemon as they work tirelessly to solve an assortment of engaging puzzles and mysteries. For those who've had the pleasure of watching the Detective Pikachu movie, the story may feel a bit predictable, but it retains the undeniable charm. However, for newcomers of Detective Pikachu Returns offers a captivating journey into the unknown, where every twist and turn takes on an element of delightful surprise. Beyond the storyline, the game is marked by commendable writing that keeps players engaged. While certain plot elements may occasionally follow predictable paths, they do so in an entertaining and enjoyable manner. The humour woven throughout the narrative consistently hits the mark, ensuring that players are not only engrossed but also amused by the unfolding events. Furthermore, the game demonstrates exceptional prowess in the terms of narrative structure and character development. Detective Pikachu Returns expands on the personalities and relationships established in the original title, allowing players to delve deeper into the lives of the endearing characters, and a standout feature of the sequel is the inventive use of Pikachu's flashback scenes in the vibrant Bamboo Borough, which add an extra layer of depth and nostalgia to the gameplay experience, as these well-crafted flashbacks serve both as a homage to the past and a testament to the game's creativity in storytelling. For the summary, The gameplay, I'm going to give it an 8.3 out of 10. The gameplay remains faithful to its roots, providing an engaging and immersive detective experience. The player steps into the shoes of Tim Goodman and his trusty sidekick Detective Pikachu as they unravel the mysteries of Rhyme City. The gameplay continues to focus on problem solving, exploration, and interaction with a colourful cast of Pokemon characters, staying true to the franchise's spirit. And one noteworthy aspect that stands out in Detective Pikachu Returns is the ingenious use of Pokemon in the game's puzzle building. The game leverages the unique abilities and characteristics of different Pokemon species to create challenging and inventive puzzles that test the player's deductive skills. This not only keeps the game fresh and exciting, but also fosters a deep appreciation for the diverse world of Pokemon. For the graphics and the performance, I'm going to give it a 6.2 out of 10. The graphical quality in Detective Pikachu Returns falls somewhat short of modern gaming standards. The visuals lack the level of detail and polish that is expected of contemporary titles. However, it is important to note that the game's art style might appeal to some players, offering a nostalgic charm reminiscent of earlier Pokemon games. And one area that Detective Pikachu Returns does manage to impress is its performance, as the game does run smoothly with minimal lag or frame rate drops, and this smooth performance significantly contributes to an enjoyable gaming experience. And it is clear that developers may put effort into the performance, but not the graphics, to ensure that players can navigate the game's world without frustrating interruptions. The UI design in Detective Pikachu Returns definitely deserves praise, as it is well crafted, intuitive, and user-friendly. As the menus and the controls are easy to navigate, enhancing the player's user experience, as the UI contributes positively to the game's playability and to keep players engaged without causing unnecessary confusion. And as we look into the potential future installments of the Detective Pikachu series, there is room for improvement, particularly in the visual department, and to enhance the series' appeal and bring it up to par with contemporary gaming standards, it would be wise to consider collaborating with a developer like Bandai Namco, since their experience with Pokken Tournament and new Pokemon Snap has showcased the ability to create a visually stunning and gaming and engaging experiences within the Pokemon universe. For the world building, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Because one of the most notable aspects in a game for me is the world building, which does play a pivotal role in shaping the experience. Unfortunately, this is where the game falls short, because the world building in Detective Pikachu Returns is adequate, but it doesn't fully live up to its potential. Compared to previous games, the movie adaptation of Detective Pikachu does the world building a lot better than in the games. And the visuals and the atmosphere within the game kind of contribute to the world building. And my major gripe with this installment lies within the missed opportunity within the world building department, as Rhyme City is a fascinating setting teeming with unique characters and Pokemon species, and it's a place brimming with potential for exploration and discovery. But the game opts for a more linear approach, which hampers its overall enjoyability, and this linearity is a missed chance to delve deeper into the city's intricacies, its inhabitants, and its secrets. Had the game taken a more complex and non-linear approach to the world building, it could have truly immersed players into the vibrant world of Rhyme City. The lack of depth in the world building aspect leaves players wanting more, and it is disappointing in my opinion to see that potential was not fully realised. For the story, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10, because the game excels in keeping the essence of the original duo intact, expertly incorporating layers of new lore and character development as this sequel successfully delves deeper into the mysteries of the Pokemon world, adding fascinating nuances to the existing duo. The story unfolds with a seamless transition from its predecessor, making it feel like an organic extension of the narrative we know and love. Moreover, Detective Pikachu Returns introduces intriguing characters to the mix, as Rachel Myers is a notable addition, bringing her unique charm and skills to the table, contributing to the game's overall depth and the appeal, and the chapter Detainee Pikachu chapter further elevates the story by introducing Pikachu's interactions with fellow inmates, offering a refreshing twist to the narrative and demonstrating the game's commitment to the character development. For the writing, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, because the game's writing is undeniably its crowning jewel, setting it apart from the crowd as the narrative is driven by well-crafted chapters, intricate cases, and a diverse cast of characters that inject life and depth into the story. And the strength of Detective Pikachu Returns lies in its ability to weave an engaging and intriguing plot that keeps players hooked from beginning to end, as each case unfolds with precision, offering both challenges and satisfying resolutions, as the writing excels in its ability to create a sense of immersion, drawing players into the world of detective work as they unravel mysteries alongside Pikachu and the other characters. The humour in this game is not to be underestimated, as the comedic elements are skillfully integrated into the story, resulting in moments in genuine laughter. This is once again a testament to the high quality of the writing. Its clever dialogue, witty one-liners, and well-timed humour that make Detective Pikachu Returns not just a detective game, but an enjoyable and entertaining experience. For the characters, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10, because Detective Pikachu Returns brings back the lovable electric detective and some interesting new characters such as Rachel Myers, who adds a fresh dynamic to the story. The game does an excellent job at developing its characters, creating a sense of attachment between the players and the in-game personas. Rachel, in particular, stands out with her college connection to Tim Goodman and her substantial role in the game's plot. However, there is one perplexing aspect of the character lineup that left me scratching my head the entire time I was playing the game, and that was the inclusion of Tim Goodman's mother. Irene Goodman, who was confirmed to be deceased in the film, which does raise questions and confusion, as this discrepancy between the game and the movie might disrupt the immersion for me, since I'm well immersed into the Detective Pikachu lore. And including Tim Goodman's mother in the game did confuse me a bit because of the film. For the sound design, I'm going to give it a 7.4 out of 10. The choice of jazz music throughout the game is nothing short but a masterstroke. It enhances the game's atmosphere, making it stand out amidst the plethora of titles available on the Nintendo Switch. The jazz music, skillfully woven throughout the gameplay, elevates Detective Pikachu Returns to a whole new level. It imparts a soothing quality to the overall experience, creating a captivating atmosphere that draws players in. Unlike many other games on the platform, Detective Pikachu Returns manages to strike a perfect balance between an engaging storyline and music that complements the narrative seamlessly. For the content, I'm going to give it a 5.6 out of 10. Because Detective Pikachu Returns feels somewhat dry, offering little to do beyond the main storyline, which does make it feel like a stale pineapple berry. While the main story does have its moments and captures the charm of the beloved Pokemon franchise, the lack of additional content in Detective Pikachu Returns makes this return for our electrifying detective a bit underwhelming, as one of the major drawbacks of this game is the dearth of meaningful content outside of the main narrative. This lack of additional activities or diversions can leave players feeling unsatisfied and yearning for more. And the absence of engaging side quests is particularly disappointing, as they fail to contribute any substantial rewards or incentives to undertake them. And this, in return, diminishes the motivation for players to explore and immerse themselves in the world of Detective Pikachu Returns. While the side quests scattered throughout the various locations in the game do exist, they ultimately lack the value and purpose necessary to justify their inclusion, and the absence of rewards and tangible benefits from completing these side missions make them feel like an empty filler, leaving players wondering why they should even bother investigating their time into these additional tasks. For the difficulty, I'm going to give it an easy, because Detective Pikachu Returns offers a unique take on the mystery game genre. Unlike many other titles in this category, it's not overly challenging, making it more accessible and enjoyable for a younger audience, as the game's simplicity, however, should be taken in context, as it's primarily designed for children, and while it may not pose a significant challenge for adult players, it excels in providing a fun and engaging experience for kids. The game retains the lovable character of Pikachu, who does don the detective hat once again to solve various mysteries in a colourful and whimsical world of Rhyme City, as the plot is filled with charm and humour, creating an inviting atmosphere for players of all ages. The puzzles and riddles presented in Detective Pikachu Returns may lack complexity, but they serve as a perfect introduction to the mystery genre of young players. For the length, I'm going to give it 15 to 20 hours, because Detective Pikachu Returns offers a gaming experience that lasts around 15 to 20 hours, a duration that leaves players with mixed feelings. While the game provides an engaging storyline, it lacks significant replay value, which can make it challenging for those who enjoy savoring a game's narrative at their own pace. And one of the game's notable attributes is its story, which, though intriguing, falls short in length for completionists. Those who appreciate exploring every nook and cranny of the game and completing every side quest may find themselves craving more content. And Detective Pikachu Returns doesn't deliver on the kind of gameplay that can offer 40 plus hours of entertainment. Unless players are willing to replay the story multiple times, this may disappoint those who are hoping for a more extensive and immersive experience. For the audience, I'm going to give it a 7+. While the game does feature cartoon violence, it maintains the overall light-hearted tone suitable for younger players. The game does have its moments of tension and darkness, such as when Detective Pikachu experiences passing out after triggering a flashback, as these moments add depth to the storyline without veering into overly mature or disturbing content. And for the perk, I'm going to give it the Play Then Sell perk this time, as Detective Pikachu Returns offers a decent gaming experience that falls somewhere between not bad and not great. It's just decent. While it lacks the replay value, the game stands out thanks to its compelling story and well-crafted writing. If you're considering picking it up, I do advise that you wait for the prices to drop on platforms like Amazon, or consider purchasing it from a second-hand shop like CEX. Unless you're a die-hard Pokemon fan, this may not earn a permanent place in your collection. However, for dedicated Pokemon fans, owning it might be worth it. And I do recommend that you own a physical copy of the game rather than a digital one, to ensure that you're not left with wanting more gameplay hours, giving it obscurity in the franchise. The game's sales performance remains uncertain, but only time will reveal its fate. And overall, I give Detective Pikachu Returns a 7.4 out of 10. Detective Pikachu Returns manages to capture the essence of the Pokemon universe while introducing some innovative elements, as the gameplay, with its engaging detective mechanics and clever use of Pokemon within puzzles, keeps you immersed within the world of Rhyme City. However, the graphics fall short of modern standards, and the game's world building misses the opportunities for depth and exploration. The story is a strong point, seamlessly extending the overall narrative of the game while introducing intriguing new characters. The writing is a highlight, creating an immersive experience filled with comedic humor and well-timed characters. The characters, including Rachel Myers, are well developed. Although the inclusion of Tim's supposedly diseased mother may confuse fans, the jazz music enhances the overall atmosphere. But the lack of meaningful content beyond the main story is disappointing, as the game's accessibility and simplicity make it suitable for young players, but it may leave adults wanting more. With a playtime of 15 to 20 hours, Detective Pikachu Returns offers an enjoyable experience, but its replay value is limited. And it's a game worth considering, especially for Pokemon enthusiasts. But wait for the price to drop, or purchasing it secondhand might be the best approach if you're thinking about playing this game. But overall, this is just my opinion on the game, because some people out there may not like it, and some people out there may love it. But for me, it's just decent. And the one question that I am going to answer or ask before the video ends is, what's next for Detective Pikachu with the ending of Detective Pikachu Returns? Because Detective Pikachu Returns left me wondering what the future could hold for Detective Pikachu as a whole. And as I delved into the game, I couldn't help wonder what could be next. In my opinion, a reboot might be the best path forward, because if Nintendo were to acquire Bandai Namco, it could prove to be a formidable partnership for developing not only Pokemon spin-offs, but a new Mario Kart game as well. Handing over the reins of a Detective Pikachu reboot and the Detective Pikachu franchise as a whole to Bandai Namco. I think it may seem like a strategic move, given their demonstrated ability to craft quality Pokemon spin-offs, as seen in titles like Pokken Tournament and New Pokemon Snap. And while I'm hopeful that this won't be the last that we see of Detective Pikachu, I believe that a reboot can breathe fresh life into the Detective Pikachu franchise, giving new and exciting adventures for fans old and new with replay value. So guys, what did you think of my review of Detective Pikachu Returns? I know this has been a while in the making, and I know a lot of people have been boycotting this game, but I needed to give my own honest opinion on the game. So, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and turn your notification bell on so you don't miss another review video like this one. And I will see you all in a future review video. BB8 out.